Farnilo from Salomon Estate, Australia, and I am a winemaker working for Berthold Salomon, making red wines in Australia, and Berthold makes white wines in Austria.
Mike, it might sound like a stereotype that a winery established by an Austrian in Australia is making pretty European-styled wines, but do you agree with that?
Well, certainly Berthold works with us very closely in making the style, and he's very conscious of it being a European style, but it's also controlled by the vineyard site being a little bit more elevated, higher altitude, and has that very cooling influence from the Southern Ocean. So it's not only making it that style, we have to follow what the vineyard will allow us to do, and the vineyard is very cool. So it's quite different to the nearby McLaren Vale and Barossa climates.
Now you make some Cabernet Sauvignon, but your best wines are made with Shiraz,
yeah.
and some people say Shiraz is a thing of the past because it's an overdone grape, pretentious. Do you think it will still remain the signature Australian grape?
Oh yes, Shiraz is still our most widely planted variety. It's still very popular in Australia, and I think it will make a resurgence. As always, we need to refine the style, and in Australia I think the big fruit bombs from the old days of Australian Shiraz are being reduced. It's not as alcoholic as it used to be, and I think the Salomon Estate Finniss River Shiraz is very typical of that, showing much more savoury, cooler climate characters, not so much of the ripe, sweet fruit characters.
You don't make white wines in Australia at the moment at Salomon Estate, but I know you have a project in perspective. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, certainly we don't make white wines in Australia for Salomon, but Berthold's interested in making some Chardonnay, and Chardonnay again is the most widely planted white variety in Australia. And I think now people are learning how to make it in a more elegant style, more complex, with a little bit better acidity, a little bit finer fruit characters. And where Berthold's vineyard is, like I said, is near the Adelaide Hills, which is a very good source for the best quality Chardonnay in Australia.